Hey, it's Pete from Crunch Time Coaching. Are you stuck at that 3-5 level and it's starting to drive you crazy? At first it was okay, but then you're like, year after year, I'm in the same darn league and I want to go up to the next level. I've seen my buddies do it and I want to do it too. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you get there. I'm going to give you 5 golden tips, things that you need to improve if you really want to get to that next level. If you want to go from a 3-5 to a 4-0, because I find that that is a level that a lot of people get stuck at. Once you can get up from that 3-5 to a 4-0, you know what? I think you're starting to develop some real skills where you can even go up to a 4-5. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so tip number 1 is you need to develop a real serve. And by developing a real serve, what do I mean? I'm not talking about 120 mile an hour big down the TA serve. No, I'm talking about a real second serve, because I've even seen, especially if we're talking about male players, but also some female players can throw in some big bomb first serves, and then they come with that cupcake second serve. Or if they're trying to swing on their second serve, they just throw in way too many double faults at the 3-5 level. And then when you go to that 4-0 level, you start to notice when you're watching those matches that, oh, they look a little bit more polished, a little bit more professional, in that they've got the continental grip and they're putting some kind of spin on the ball, and they're able to accelerate through the serve so that the serve is not being hit around like a piñata, okay? So that's the first thing that you really got to spend a lot of time on, because most likely at the 3-5 level, especially if you're talking about a middle of the road 3-5 or lower 3-5, people are just not picking on those second serves the way that they're going to at the 4-0 level. Okay, the next thing you got to do is you got to start to feel confident in the midcourt. When you're starting to get approach shots, you've got to start to feel like you know what you're going to do with the ball. So here's the things that you got to do to get better in the midcourt. Of course, it's nice to be able to add a little bit of power to your approach shot, but that is not the most important thing to put a premium on. It is figuring out a way to hit an approach shot that makes your opponent feel uncomfortable. First of all, I love slice low chip shots. I love them deep, and I also love them short, because what's this doing is it's making your opponent get down to their shoelaces, which means they have to hit up, and now you're going to get volleys around chest level. And then the other important thing about getting really comfortable in the midcourt is that you know how to follow the ball up. First of all, when you're getting to the ball, you're not just stopping and freezing, then hitting, and then starting to run again. You've got to flow through the shot. So as you're hitting, you're moving through the shot, and then you know how to cover the angles like you are a soccer goalie, okay? So too many people run to the wrong spot and they feel like a fish out of water, and then they get lit up. They get passed, cross court, down the line, lobbed, you name it. It's not a pretty sight. So what you want to do is you want to know how to hit a nice approach shot, whether you're hitting it hard, soft, it doesn't really matter. It's being able to place it in an area to where your opponent doesn't really get a good grip on the ball. And you are also then in their line of sight. When they go to hit that pass shot, you're there. They can kind of feel that you have the angles covered. So that's super important to be able to play the net well. So the next thing, what I'm going to tell you need to improve. You got to improve those volleys, okay? You can't work hard, play a great point, get to the net, and then blow it. You can't do that. You don't want to do that. You want to be able to put volleys away. Now, here's another big golden tip, is they don't have to be power volleys. You don't have to be hitting your volley 1,000,000 miles an hour. Again, what you have to do is understand, as you're hitting that approach shot, you're thinking in a sequence of 2. You're kind of thinking, okay, if I approach here and things go well, I'm going to put the volley away here. If I approach here and my opponent hits a really good passing shot, but I can still get my racket on it, I'm going to put the ball in a certain area that maybe isn't going for a winner, but then puts the pressure back on them to come up with another great passing shot. So that's super important when you're coming to the net, is besides just the technique of the volleys, it's the strategy, knowing that, hey, if things go well with an approach shot, these are the spots of the court where the winners are at. And if things don't go well, these are the spots of the court that's my safe zone, that if I put the ball back in play, it's still putting a lot of pressure on my opponent to come up with another really, really good shot. I'm a big fan of like low little volleys around the service line to where they're staying low. They got a little bite on them for the ones you can't put away. And then your opponent has to move forward. They have to bend that aching back and they have to hit up. That's always a good volley, usually to force somebody to have a tough passing shot on you. Okay, the next thing that you've got to improve is, man, don't you hate when you see that lob go up and you're like, oh man, I know I should put this away, but I don't have an overhead. Well, if you're going to play 4-0 tennis, you got to start to have an overhead. You got to start to put the ball away, or at least not be giving points away. And that's another big tip, is not every overhead is meant to be put away. Okay, you can even get an overhead maybe if you're moving past the service line, right? Maybe someone hits a good lob and you're past service line, but you still know it's an overhead. You don't have to hit an overhead. You can actually just kind of punch the volley forward, reposition yourself, and then again, putting pressure on them to where they have to come up with maybe another good lob or another passing shot. Give your opponents chances to miss, and they will. And then when they feed that weak lob in there, you've got to have good timing and good technique to where when you go and you accelerate, you're popping that ball and you're putting that ball away. Here is one technical tip that's going to help you have better overheads. I see so many people when they hit overheads, they get smaller. They start to shrink as they're hitting the overhead instead of getting taller. You want to feel like you're getting up on your tippy toes and you're reaching up to the top of the cookie jar. You focus on those two things, you're going to be able to snap over the ball, put it down, maybe pop that thing over the fence. How nice would that be to be able to play a match and pop that thing over the fence? Oh my gosh, I like that. Okay, I'm getting too excited. All right, the next tip is you are going to improve your return of serve. If you're going to play with 4-0 players, again, this is when they start to hit their spots more. They can start to get more accurate. They start to put more spins on it. And in general, they can have a little more firepower. Again, I see lots of 3-5 tennis where the first serve comes in like this. Boom, right? It's that frying pan grip. So it becomes very predictable after a couple of games where the ball is going to go in the box and how fast it's going to come. When you're playing somebody who is coming on edge with a racket and imparting spin, different kinds of spin, right? Slice, kick, flat, and they can hit some different areas of the box. Now, all of a sudden, you've really never seen that before. So that's tough to start to adjust. The key is not to overreact. Many people, when they get in over their head, they overreact. So they take too big a backswing and then they hit and they're late and the ball goes flying the fence. And then you're like, oh my gosh, especially if you're playing doubles. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry I missed that. I'm sorry I missed that. You want to be making your opponent play. So again, your return of serve doesn't have to be like Novak Djokovic or Jimmy Connors when they serve the ball when you're like punishing that return and hitting winners by them. It's making them play and answer the question again and again and again. So it's short backswings, it's blocks, it's moving forward in the ball, it's taking their pace, absorbing the pace, and going in. So one thing that you want to do is go get a buddy to come out there and start serving to you. This is even great if you take another 3-5 friend and they start serving to you from the service line, because now they're going to have better control. They can actually maybe move and place the ball in different areas of the box, and their serve is going to appear faster. And then what your job is when that toss goes up, you're going to get a nice little split step forward. And then when it's coming at you, don't back up. Don't bring the racket way back. Start to go forward. Fight that ball off with your chest and push in. Just nice little bunts forward. Now all of a sudden, especially if you're going out there and playing a lot of doubles matches, you're bringing the ball over the net, low over the net, right at their feet if they serve volley. You want to hit it right at their feet if they're serving volley. Make them volley up, maybe even come in on that and then put a volley right away and say, I belong on your court, buddy. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after the next level, because that's what I'm all about. I'm about helping you get to that next level. So if you like this video, besides giving this video a big like, big thumbs up, let me also know in the comment section what you're doing right now to try and improve your game and get to the next level. I want to know. Or if you have a question, I'll help you. And then finally, pay attention to this preview. I'm about to drop an 8-part series right in your lap for free that's going to show you what the secrets are of getting to the next level. So this is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching, signing off, and I look forward to helping you improve and get to the next level.
Hey guys, Pete from Crunch Time Coaching. Today we got a really cool lesson for you. We're going to teach you the super spinner boomerang drop shot. Okay guys, I gotta be honest with you. Learning the super spinner boomerang drop shot is not gonna get your game to the next level in the next 12 months. And my job as your tennis coach is to help you consistently get better, see the progress, grow in your tennis game. So what we're gonna do today is a little different. We're gonna put down the racket, we're gonna put down the balls, we're gonna leave the tennis court, and we're gonna head on over to my house, and I'm gonna show you exactly, step by step, the pitfalls to avoid and what you really need to be doing over the next 12 months if you wanna see your game go up to the next level. So come on, let's go.